Hello and what's up everyone, it is time for more Odd Taxi. This is episode 5. Last episode we had a backstory episode on a character that we previously didn't really know, and yet now we do. Now we kind of get what he's all about. I believe his name was Tanaka, right? And he was a gacha player. He was looking for this certain gacha creature. Why am I speaking like an old person? He was looking for a certain pool, a gacha pool, for over and over and over for many years. He finally got it, but Odokawa was indirectly / kind of directly the reason that he lost it, which sent him to Spiral, and then now he wants revenge. So that was pretty insane. I mean, it was pretty crazy that they did that just as a little individual episode, like out of nowhere. You know, there's like didn't feel like there was any build up to that episode. It just sort of happened. But it was a really good episode. So let's jump into this episode now, and I imagine jump back to the main story of everyone else and what everyone else is doing. I'm keen to see how it progresses. This show has been a lot of fun so far and really interesting and great character work and great comedy and everything. So let's jump into it and see what it's got to offer. Make sure to support the video on the channel if you can, liking, commenting, and subscribing, and go to my Patreon account if you want the full-length reaction, as well as early access and exclusive videos. You can get next week's episode of Odd Taxi on my Patreon account right now. Go check it out for episode 6 right now. But without further ado, let's jump into episode 5 of Odd Taxi. The visuals of this opening are really good. The song works so well, closing your eyes and vibing to it.
Hey Mitsuya, ready for your lesson?
Don't call me an idol?
I told you it starts at 7. I'll come pick you up, stay there.
It's probably gonna be an episode with Shiho in it, I imagine? Okay.
Hey, over here!
Yeah, oh, she's the other idol, right? She's
All right, driver,
the other one we don't know.
in Sasuzuka, drive safely but quickly.
Much.
Yamamoto, where's my fried chicken?
She's so small.
Yay. Thank you for grabbing that.
If you gain 5 kilos, you're fired.
Fried chicken?
Mm-hmm.
Why is that a
I am from Oita,
surprise?
After all. I just have an attachment to it. It's my soul food.
Oh yeah, this is the character voiced by Kaylee Mills, I imagine, right?
The fried chicken my mom used to make was so good.
Oh,
Is Nikaido coming today?
there was like
She's
a
showing up late.
somberness
She
there.
gets so much special jumpering.
Keep at it, Mitsuya. You promised your mom you would
Mitsuya.
follow your dreams, remember?
Hey, a fried chicken place!
Whoa. She planted her phone
Head
there
inside.
For real?
Don't you want
to track or
You're the
to
newest
record.
member, Mitsuya. Find somewhere easy to pick you up.
This guy should really have a car instead of be
Sounds
using
like
a
a tough
taxi
time.
for his work.
Handling girls requires careful planning. Thought it'd be best to keep them separated.
Interesting.
At the baths again, huh?
This is Shiho, right?
Back to the studio.
I'm trying to
Who's that
remember
bath
these
bomb you mentioned
names.
before?
I feel like I've seen her around before somewhere.
You've seen her on the dating
where?
app.
I consider myself something like an authentic bartender.
That means you're listening to everything. Just keep working at your own pace.
She's so incredible.
This manager
Honestly,
guy
I
actually
bet she would kill
seems
someone just
pretty
to get
nice.
ahead. Maybe she already has.
What are you saying?
Like he is trying to keep them
Maybe
all
I'm
happy.
Not suited. Like what?
Oh, well, you know,
You're
she's
cute.
got for you, and a cute face too.
I
Yeah.
wear a mask because
Bitchy, nothing more.
explaining with old dudes is exhausting too.
Hey, Mitsuya's already inside.
I still don't like her. Nothing's better before.
Ichimura, be careful what you say. Okay, driver.
Man, this guy has to
The
deal with
office
so
and
many
Kamimeguro.
gripes.
For real?
Poor guy.
I'm totally stoked. Follow that car. Sweet.
Oh no. Oh no.
Let me tell you,
Tanaka's here.
it's very hard work, driver. A carbon gemstone needs others to help it shine even brighter.
I mean, yeah,
Basically,
kinda.
I'm designing the
Sometimes.
setting for a carbon gemstone.
They can't do that without assistance.
Just say diamond and beat
Yeah.
Got a business
It was
card, right?
weird phrasing.
May I have one? Same person to drive them around. You
Oh.
seem tight-lipped, too.
I'm not always available, so don't get your hopes up.
That'd be cool.
Maybe keep our flyers in your taxi.
Oh my god.
People want those,
You can pay me
Curiosity
to
can
do
be
that.
Very powerful.
especially the ones trying to be idols. Honestly, they all kind of look the same to me.
But
You said you recognized the second
they're like
girl.
different
That was
animals.
Shiho Ichimura.
I feel like it'd be much easier to tell people apart when they're not just
This
white
is it.
people.
Right place, yeah.
And instead they're
And you're
different breeds
sure
of cats
about
or
what?
Does this car happen to have a recording device?
not anymore, right? Like didn't he
What do
give
you
the
mean?
footage?
You know, like taxi videos? You see them on TV sometimes.
I mean, there's
I do.
one right now,
Any
yeah.
chance I could get your data?
I'll pay, of course.
You can have the day.
No, I want it all.
Whoa, no.
I can't make that decision by myself.
That's not really
I can settle
okay.
the privacy issue.
Fine, then.
Yeah, I mean, you can't just ask for all of your...
I'll be in touch with you about it.
That's
I
a huge
appreciate
breach
your
of privacy.
assistance. See you again soon.
Now, is Odokawa gonna speak to another room? Wasn't he, like, speaking to someone in another room in
Thank
episode
you for
1 or
riding
something?
today, sir.
There's still that. Right. Oh! Jesus! Oh, look at them practicing.
You're into some weird shit.
That's
guy.
creepy.
But I don't run a salon, I run a clinic.
The payoff wasn't worth the long joke.
I'm closing the clinic for a while.
Why is
No!
that?
My medications aren't adding up.
Oh,
You
that's
think They
right.
were stolen?
Yeah, they've been
I
taking
do,
medication.
Apparently.
A little while back, when I was driving around after dropping off a hippo guy, I saw Dobu and Shirakawa
A
together
hippo
in an alley
guy.
at night. Behind.
You don't know it was her then.
Well,
Plus, it was
there
at
aren't many
night.
alpaca
There are
around
plenty
here.
of people who look like her from behind.
Are there?
I could tell it was.
Like you've warmed up a bit recently.
He has.
I'm gonna go now.
Where to?
What is that? Is that water or milk?
Strangely enough, 2 people asked.
What's happening here?
Hey,
Oh, Dobu.
that's the only one I'm answering, though.
No matter what, you always try to dominate the situation, don't you?
Of course I do.
That speed camera always been there?
Well, there goes your one question. You're the type who'd waste his wishes if he found a magic lamp.
I wasn't asking you. Am I right?
Hmm?
If you don't answer honestly, I'm not telling you. Associated in any way, then the premise of that threat doesn't hold water.
Ooh, interesting.
Fine, yeah, you're right.
And it was your idea, am I right?
That's too many questions. Including the speed camera one, that's your 4th.
Including the speed camera one.
That's more or less. That's all there is to it. We're not tied beyond that, and it isn't a job.
Okay.
I answered your questions. And recently, a video of some amateur claiming he's gonna catch me has gotten 10 million views. It's not the best time for me.
Jeez.
Really?
10 million
So you're
views.
famous then?
I'm gonna have to murder you. That's not just a threat. I'll do it without a second thought. I've already thought of the way that'll bind your arms and legs and throw you into an empty bathtub. Then I'd slowly start to fill it up with ice-cold water.
Oh my
Sound
god.
good? Out exactly what makes you afraid.
Yeah, I don't love this.
The manager of Mystery Kiss.
And what the hell is a mystery kiss?
It's an idol group.
Check out their flyers.
Pause into this shit too? So, what exactly did this manager say?
Is
He
the
asked to buy the data.
is the manager Yano?
It's none of my business. Stay away from me.
Hey, don't tell me you're
He's
getting,
getting
that
more
upset.
firm.
About Shirakawa.
He likes her, man. And that's okay, and that's good. Ooh. I wanted to see some of their dates. She's on her phone the
Do you
date.
come to places like this often,
Oh, but
Kaki?
at least she's
Well,
talking.
now let me think. Excuse me, I'd like another glass, please.
Probably taking a bath.
You don't say.
Oh,
You like
nice.
bath time, huh?
You want to have
I
a
grew
bath
up
together?
poor, and I had a lot of brothers.
Poor, huh?
I asked Santa for a few bath bombs for Christmas. You know, those things that you drop. I bet the bathtub at your place is amazing. Can you stretch your legs out?
Huh? Of course, air jets too.
Really? Can you watch TV
Oh, right. I
too?
forgot she thinks he's
Yeah,
rich.
Big screen. Huh? You mean like bathe in it? I think it's a little too soon for that.
How do they afford that suit?
Listen, how's this? Why don't we go
And
to
this
you
meal.
sometime, huh?
And would we go there in your private jet or something, Kaki?
Oh, this is sad.
Oh, shucks.
She's less interested now.
I mean, I'm still pretty Do you want to get married?
Thank you for waiting.
What?
Oh, it's fine, thank you.
Do you want to what?
You don't need to hold your glass.
That changes from place to place.
So it's very clear that he doesn't go to fancy restaurants often.
If getting married was something you really wanted.
Ah, right.
Yeah, would be an amazing fairy tale moment.
But don't do it too early.
Well, in that case, would you maybe...
Hey, look at this!
You can't propose now, dude.
He's a Rui Nikaido fan.
Hmm?
It's nothing. Do you know
The
about
jealousy.
this? Everyone's talking about it right now.
Hey, I'd like to announce
He's gonna catch Dobu. This is the one that got 10 million views.
By 10 days ago, when I posted a photo, Dobu happened to be.
That's right,
I
he was in the
started
background of
getting
that
calls from the
photo.
media. At this juncture, what kind of bad news is uncertain, but it could be anything. Theft, robbery, fraud, assault, extortion, sex crimes, putting rocks on
Oh my-
railway tracks, arson, kidnapping, or
Putting
murder.
rocks on railway
These
tracks.
crimes are too though. Rocks on tracks.
She's showing you an entire 2-minute video like
All
that.
done with your plate, sir?
Oh, I'm sure some people have had their bike seats stolen, right?
that changes from place to place.
I'll upload a video of him on his knees.
Oh
I'll
my
rehabilitate
God.
him. If the law can't punish him, then I will.
This is a dangerous
No,
thing
wait.
to do,
Not
Taichi, just to
me,
go
all of us
viral.
will. Even you watching. University will work with you to catch him. I won't
You even
run or
said your
hide.
university?
I'll stand in the line of fire. Vance, this man is evil, and we shall defeat evil.
Oh my
Justice will
God.
prevail in the end.
Yeah,
Is something wrong?
it's a lot of money, of
I'm
course.
just
It's gonna be
You
all your
carry that much
money.
cash around?
Loans. Shit, man. He took out a loan for the date. Oh, god damn, man. I'm really enjoying this show, and once again, every time they cut to like a new scene with different characters, every single time I'm like, oh yeah, I'm curious about these characters as well. It's really good. Like, they've gotten me attached to all of these characters in one way or another. I think it's great. It's super interesting. Cause yeah, I mean, I'm smiling because I'm just very satisfied that I like it so much. And also, I gotta say, like, choosing the dub was such a great choice. Like, I can always tell when I'm watching a dub, and it's like, when I'm watching it and I'm like, oh, I'm just so glad that I'm able to take this in my own language. Like, it's such a satisfying moment for me. Because in this show, I think I am getting like super attached because of hearing a lot of these voices in English. It's making the show feel... I think also it helps that this show doesn't feel like an anime. So the fact that, like, me watching this show as if it's like a serious BoJack Horseman is very nice. Like, that's what it feels like to me. Like, and when I say serious BoJack Horseman, of course BoJack Horseman has serious moments, but it's like BoJack Horseman is a comedy with dark, really, really dark moments, right? And this show feels more like a drama with comedy moments. And like, it feels strange to say that because this almost feels like cutesier in a way, you know? And it does sometimes feel like they are like leaning heavily into the comedy of it, but like the comedy feels like it serves the mystery and the drama of it very nicely. Like, it makes it, the comedy of this show makes it feel more casual, and I think the casual nature of this show is essential to its function. I love the way that these scenes just draw me in their sort of casual nature, where it feels very realistic, but at the same time it feels very heightened. Like, they got a perfect balance with everything in this show, I feel like. But I have different emotional attachments to a lot of these characters, where like there's a lot of flaws in them and there's a lot of shit going on, but I still I like, for example, the idol group, right? All three of the idol girls, the bits that they've showed me of them, I do like really like them, and I want them to have everything work out for them and stuff. But I also want things to work out for the guy going on the date with Shiho, and I want things to work out for Odokawa, obviously, and I want Odokawa and Shirokawa, Odokawa and Shirakawa? Do they both have Kawa at the end of their name? Oh my gosh, I kind of haven't really... Because her actual name is Shiho, right? By actual name. No, her name is Miho, right? Because Shiho is the idol girl. I'm going to have to look at these names. Yeah, Miho Shirakawa. Yeah. And then yeah, he's Odokawa. I'm looking back at all my notes because... Yeah, Odokawa. They both have Kawa at the end of their name. I never realized that. Or maybe I did realize it and I just forgot, but I didn't think about it. Anyway, I'm attached to them. I want them to get together. I'm attached to Gariki, I think is the hospital guy's name. I even was kind of attached to the manager of the girls of the idol group in this episode, although I kind of went back and forth on it because then he was like super suspicious towards the end. Like at the start, he's acting rude in the car with Odokawa, where he's like, well, maybe not rude as much as impatient, where he's like, okay, we need to get here, because Odokawa was also being rude back to him, where he said in the car, he was like, oh, we need to get here by 7, quick, go, go, go. And Odokawa was like, what are you being so why are you rushing me so much for? And it's like, you know, they're talking back and forth at each other, but the way that they're talking, like, it feels like they're on the same page almost, you know, like, because he did, the manager did offer him to be like the permanent taxi driver for them or whatever afterwards. So I feel like he respected him. They both, you know, they were both kind of no bullshit attitudes and giving information to each other freely. So, but yeah, he started off as it's like, oh, this guy might be kind of rude. But then when he's talking to the idols, it's like, oh, no, but he's like asking them how they are, and he's catering for them and making sure their needs are in the right place or whatever, and like trying to encourage them. But then, excuse me. But then also, like, that's his job and he's doing it for profit. So, but it's like a lot of the time when we see characters that are sort of doing that thing for profit, they're still kind of scummy to the talent a lot of the time, and they sort of lecture them a lot, where this guy seems to be like trying to give them positive reinforcement to build them up as best he can. So that's why I kind of feel like he's better than we, you know, normally see with these sorts of characters. But I mean, that's kind of the great thing about this show, is I feel like a lot of these characters do have a surprising amount of depth, and it's really interesting because they're not just one note, you know. Like Dobu, I think, is super interesting because he like was sort of introduced at the very start. It was like, okay, this is the dangerous criminal guy, and then we see him and he's like pointing a gun at Odokawa, and it's like, okay, shit, yeah, this guy's like a real danger. But then in episodes like this, they're having this conversation, and yeah, he's like threatening Odokawa and he's threatening to kill him and stuff, but I feel like there's something about him where also times like that I feel like he's very genuine to Odokawa, and I think like it could be possible that we could have him like on our side and helping us out, and he might do a right thing sometime in this show, but I don't know yet. I just don't have a full vibe on him yet, but I think it feels like all these characters, they have like a trope to them, but they're not only their trope, and there's definitely more depth to them. Like, I like in this episode Shiho, I like that she's got sort of, it seems like she's attributing or she's exhibiting is the word I was looking for, like, for lack of a better term, gold digger behavior, right? She is, she seems like she's only interested in what's his name because she thinks he's very rich. But, you know, they also had like the classic, like, oh, young person who's not super interested in the date thing of like, she's on her phone the entire time. But to her credit, and also to the credit of the writing of the show and stuff, it was a little bit more complex than that, because I've seen scenes like that before, and in scenes like that, those characters will be on their phone and they'll be looking down, and the person goes, so what do you think about, you know, the, like, how do you feel today or whatever? And they normally go, yeah, I'm good. And then they'll just like keep, you know, doing stuff like that, and then they might see something that pisses them off, and then they'll be like, oh my god, have you heard of the blah blah blah? But she seemed like she started the conversation, and she was engaging him in, you know, like talking to him actively. And then, you know, sometimes she would put her phone down and talk. Now, obviously, the times when she would put down her phone and talk, it seemed like is when she was getting drawn in by the money that he had, which is sad. But I just appreciate that there was a little more depth to that, where there were times when I was like, I feel like she is trying, and I don't want to blame her completely, because I think, you know, people have different relationships with their phones and with social media and stuff. Like, that it's like, yes, I think if you're on a date, sure, it's a rude thing to like be scrolling through social media while you're on a date, right? That's like pretty much definitely the case. But I can sort of understand if she has like a different enough relationship with social media and her phone, where like she probably, if she's hanging out with friends or something, they would go to a restaurant together and they would all be on their phones, and then they'd occasionally be chatting, but they'd all be on their phones. And I'm not the sort of person who finds there's much wrong with that. Look, I know people are going to be like, no, this is a problem with modern society. Like, people should put down their phones and talk to one another or whatever. But sometimes this is how people connect. I know it's a different way of connecting with people, but like you could see in this episode, she was using that to try to connect with him. She was like showing him like a tweet, and then was asking like, do you think he really won that like billion yen or whatever? And also saying like, hey, you know, have you seen this video? And then was like chatting about the video. It's like, she clearly has a connection to, you know, social media, and she was sharing that connection with him. And I think in a way that's very nice. You know, she was opening up, and she was actually forming some sort of bridge between them, and that's what really matters, you know. Like, the real problem, I think, would be if she was on her phone and was actively ignoring him for the phone, but I don't think she was doing that. Now, all of that still kind of goes out the window, because I do think she was only interested in him because of his money, possibly. But it would be really nice if by the end of this show we see, you know, maybe that isn't the case. I don't know, you know? And I mean, there's also, you know, you could have the question of the age difference thing, right? That could be like a problem. I'm not really talking about that, because to be honest, if all the parties involved are consenting adults, and we have the age of consent as 18, or the age, especially the age that we generally consider to be the age where people are considered adults to be 18, I think it's infantilizing to when there are 18-year-olds trying to live their life and do stuff with other consenting adults, for us to say like, no, but you're not allowed to do that yet because you're still a child. Like, that seems like, I understand there's complexity to it and there's power dynamics, but my general rule is that I think if there are multiple consenting adults, then they should be allowed to, you know, date if they want. It really should not matter. Other people should not have a say in that. That's my thoughts on the situation, you know? There's obviously complexities involved in that. There's obviously, I'm sure there are situations that you can go like, well, what if this happens and then this happens and then this happens? Sure, but just as a general rule. So if, like, the age dynamics to me isn't really a factor when I'm talking about these scenes. I'm talking about the dynamics in their, the fact that they're sort of basing this on a lie right now, in the fact that he lied about the money he was making, and the fact that she is seemingly, that was the only draw for her. I feel like you know, that's going to come back to bite him. I mean, no, well, I think what's really going to come back to bite him is the fact that he took out a loan for that fucking date by the looks of it. Because he's going to be in real trouble. Because I don't know how the fuck he's going to pay back that loan. So, I'm kind of scared for him. Because I think that's going to bite him in the ass by the end of this series. Uh-oh. I mean, yeah, I don't think you introduce a loan storyline without the character being in real trouble because of the loan. Whew. Anyway, that is Odd Taxi. Episode 5. Thank you so much for joining me. Make sure to support this video if you can, liking the video, commenting down below, and subscribing to the channel. And go to my Patreon account if you want the full-length reaction, as well as early access. You can get the next week's episode on my Patreon account right now. So thanks for watching. I'll see you next time. Goodbye.